I'm excited. I'm out here at Lake Shasta right now, and I'm really excited. We're out here. We're getting ready to fish a tournament starting tomorrow, and Mark's actually going to fish that tournament. And we're here to talk about the new, we call it the B.A.M Tour, right? The
B.A.M Tour, B.A.M Trail.
B.A.M Tour,
BAMTrail.com.
All right. And I got Mark Lassagne. Is that how we say it? Or
Yes,
Mark
sir.
Lassagne?
Mark Lassagne. I get lasagna a lot, but it is Lassagne.
All right, good deal. And you know, normally I do a little research on the guys that I'm interviewing, but I know probably more about you than you probably realize. You've been a fishing hammer for quite a while, you know, and I don't, you're no Kevin Van Dam by any means. We know that.
Right.
But you fished Bass Nation tournaments, which you qualified for a lot of that stuff. You qualified for championships at FLW. I mean, you are the real deal. And for some reason, you decided to start a tournament trail. What the heck is going on here? Tell us about it.
Well, you know, Wild West had a great circuit. I believe they did, and then they ran into financial troubles.
Right.
So there's a lot of drama behind that. We don't need to get into that, but they ran into financial trouble and they basically went out of business.
Okay.
Which left up a big void. There was the Apex Tour,
Yep.
which was a really cool tour, and then they had the Pro-Ams and the teams. I thought it was, probably the best media on the West Coast for a bass tournament circuit.
Okay.
And now they went away, and for me, it left a big void.
Yeah.
And and also for a lot of other people, it left a big void for the Northern California anglers.
Okay.
So I saw it, and I thought, you know what? I think I can make this work. I have a national magazine, and that combined with the tournament circuit is a lot of synergy.
Okay. How many subscribers do you have?
I have about 3,000 subscribers.
3,000, wow.
But we sell about 20,000 magazines. Most of the magazines, I think, since we're quarterly, get sold in newsstands. We're in Barnes and Noble, Bass Pro, Walmart, like 3,000 or 4,000 newsstands across the country.
Wow. Okay.
So we sell a lot of magazines in the newsstands, and we have good number of subscribers. Also, probably a few thousand digital subscribers. So
Okay.
add them all up, it's probably 5,000.
Wow. Yeah. And so, I was going to try to stay away from that W word, Wild West, but since you brought it up, so, I know you bought one of the trailers. Other than that, do you have anything to do with Wild West whatsoever? Because that's the question that's going to be brought up, I'm sure.
Right. And it's a sore subject for the people that were owed money. So what I did is I bought 2 of the show trailers.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I bought 3 release boats, and then about all of the stuff inside those to run tournaments.
Okay.
Scales, I had some iPads, bump tubs, all the miscellaneous stuff.
Yeah. So you're not connected anyway financially, none of that, you're not Wild West 2. You are your own trail. You just basically, they had a, what do they call it, a fire sale, and you picked up some of their equipment for probably a decent price, I'd imagine.
Right. I didn't buy it at like fire sale prices. So, and for a few reasons, but one of the reasons is that I was told when I purchase this equipment, that money is going to go back to the anglers that were owed money.
Okay.
And and obviously we worry about those things.
Sure.
And I don't want to say it's not my problem, but really wasn't my problem. I'm buying it. I'm buying your used car.
Yeah.
And if you pay off Joe, that you loaned money from Joe, then that's between you guys. But he did take the money that I paid him, and he used that to pay the anglers.
Well, that's great.
So
Yeah.
that was,
win-win.
that was comforting for me.
Yeah.
That that they did that.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I was really hoping for the best with that circuit. I was an observer for the championship that they had in Sacramento at the Delta.
I remember.
Yeah, and I absolutely, I thought, man, this is a great thing for the West Coast guys, And so I was really sad, to see them dissolve the way they did. And, I've heard a lot of good things about the person who was in charge with Wild West, and so it's just a sad situation in that deal. But that being said, having your circuit, I think you know, it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, depending on the way you look at it. You know, obviously we have MLF, you know, who knows how long they're going to be here. And we have One Bass, which, like you said, is more of a Southern California,
Right.
Arizona league, if you will. And obviously they're here in Shasta for this deal. But I think it's, I think it's going to be a good thing down the road. You know, I'm hoping you succeed, obviously, and I'm hoping that I get the opportunity to fish it down the road. You know, I'm 60 years old, and you know, I don't know what the future brings for me, but you know, we'll see what happens.
I think you still have a few years left, so
I hope you're
that's
right.
good.
Yeah.
So far, the circuit has been very, very successful. I just signed a boat deal,
Wow.
so I
Okay.
haven't sent the press release out, and it's really not public, but
Yeah.
I'm not hiding it. So I
Okay.
signed a boat deal. So I have a boat for the Pro Tour Championship, also the Pro-Am Championship.
Oh wow. Okay.
I signed Tackle Warehouse, which
Okay.
is they're the 800-pound gorilla in the tackle store
Yes,
out
they
here.
are. Wow.
Have Bass Boat Technologies is my title sponsor.
Okay.
Just signed StoreQuest. We have Dish. I have Ace Hardware. And we have a lithium company, we have PowerPole, we have Garmin. So
Okay.
we have a host of sponsors. So it's been actually very successful,
Yeah.
you know, from the get-go. I'm going to say I am the most successful tournament circuit that has not put on a tournament yet.
Yeah, you seem to be a mover and a shaker with, you know, you're not just an angler, you're a businessman, it seems like. And I think my biggest question, listening to all these sponsors, I always ask myself, because I've been tournament fishing for over 30 years, let's just say you have a lithium battery sponsor. What does that do for me as an angler? Because that's always the big question.
You know, good question. So right now, the lithium battery company is a small sponsor. Its product is going to go into the prize boats.
Okay.
So one thing it's going to do is it's going to put lithium batteries in a prize boat.
Which is
so,
great.
You know, it's a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
That, you know, sometimes you get a prize boat with no batteries.
Sure.
Right? And then
Yeah.
if you have to put batteries in it, even if you go to Walmart, it's still $300 for a set of batteries.
Yeah.
So we're going to put nice batteries in there.
Okay.
Just like Garmin, we're going to put Garmin on the boat. So the lithium battery company, they're going to do a little advertising in the magazine. So it will help put money back into the circuit,
Okay.
which will actually keep the circuit afloat.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
you know, the big part of it is kind of like when you have a job and you have a house and your food and your wife and all of this, you need X number of dollars to make ends meet, right? And
Yeah.
so you need to meet that first.
Okay.
And then once you're above that, then you can start doing extra things, whether you want to, you know, get a team together, fishing team together, you
Yeah.
want to pay back some extra money,
Yeah.
some things like that. So actually with the boat deal, the Pro-Am Championship, the cash prize is what it was gonna be. It was gonna be about $15,000.
Okay.
So now instead of a $15,000 cash prize, we're taking that out. We're giving you a $65,000 boat.
Wow.
So that's a
huge.
big difference. So
Yeah.
part of the money, you know, because even though you have a boat sponsor, not all of it is free, right?
Right.
It's not.
Absolutely.
Here's a boat, do
Yeah.
whatever. Here's a boat, the engine, all that stuff. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's not quite like that, you know.
Right,
So
right.
there's some money out of my pocket,
Yeah.
you know, and it may be more than the $15,000 to do that. But
Yeah.
I figured that was, you know, that was really a good thing and a milestone to have a boat to give away at the Pro-Am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody's-
There's as an angler, to me, you know, everyone, you know, they have mixed opinions about, well, you know, you got a boat, you got to sell the boat. Well, for me as an angler, I feel special when I win a boat.
Yeah.
You know, versus $15,000 or $20,000 of cash. You know, and obviously most of us, well, usually 99% of us own a boat. That's the reason why we're fishing as a pro.
Sure.
But you know, being able to sell that boat, I don't know, there's just something special. But I've managed to win 3 boats, 3 or 4, I don't remember. But being able to sell that boat afterwards, you just feel kind of special.
To win that, you know, to say you won a boat is a big deal. You know,
Yeah.
it's a milestone in any angler's career.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what's the format? Is it shared weight? Is it pro on co? You know, what kind of format?
It's
are
a
you doing?
non-shared weight tournament.
Okay,
So the co fishes for their own fish and the pro fishes for their own fish.
great.
You know, I looked at both scenarios and really thought about it hard. That was a pretty difficult decision to make. But I really felt like if I want to have a professional tour and have guys move up into another league, then I need to do it that way.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So we have that. We have the Pro-Am in that format. Then we have a Pro Tour format, which is a pro in a boat by himself.
Yeah, I really like that. Like I said, I just wish maybe you could explain that a little bit, because it just seems like a neat deal to be able to fish by yourself, not being worried about your co or your AAA in the back of the boat, and also the other thing is not having him influence what you're doing, because that's happened to me, and I'm probably sure it's happened to you. You know, the guy's
so many
throwing
times.
a purple worm in the back, you know, and you're throwing the pink with, you know, white polka dots, and he's getting bit, you know, 5 times as much. Oh, give me one of those worms. You know, it's just something frustrating about that.
Right. And, you know, in this format, it's all your decisions.
Yeah.
You know, you're making the decisions. And so the events are show up and fish. There's no practice. So you'll show up Thursday. We'll have a meeting Thursday night, Friday morning, hit the water, hit the ground running, and you're going to go fish. So it's a dual format. Okay. One is keeper count, 14-inch keepers. So we're going to do a keeper count. You catch as many as you can.
Okay.
The other is 5 fish weight.
Yeah.
So at the end of 2 days, we'll cut to the top 10. The first 5 will be on the most amount of keepers.
Okay.
Right. So you catch, you know, 20, and then somebody else has 19, 18, whatever, to that top 5.
Yeah.
And then the top 5 in weight, just like a regular tournament.
Okay.
So, and then those people will go fish the top 10 final day.
Yeah.
And then that's going to be based on 5 fish, your most weight.
Okay. Let's talk about your entry fees for all your tournaments. What are they going to be?
So $785 for the pro on the Pro-Am.
Okay.
$285 for the co.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's great.
And then the Pro Tour is $225 or $22.50 for the event. So, and what I'm doing that's different than anybody has done for a really long time is a no entry fee championship.
That's right. That's awesome.
So
I remember those days.
So on the Pro-Am we have a no entry fee championship. Everybody's going to get a check, and we're giving away a boat.
Yeah.
So that the Pro-Am championship is going to be close to $100,000 probably. You know, if you include the boat.
Yeah.
Pro Tour championship, because it's a limited field, there'll be an entry fee to get into the championship.
Okay.
But everybody there will get a check when they leave.
Yeah.
And we're giving away a boat at first place. So those guys will, you know, both of them be, the Pro-Am will be 1 in 25 to win a boat.
Okay.
The Pro Tour will be 1 in 20 to win a boat.
Wow.
So you have pretty good odds.
Yeah. No, that's great. And how do you relate? Let me see. How can I pose this question right? How do you relate with you know, I'm hearing, you know, 70% payback, 80% payback, 90%. You know, and then when you throw a boat in, you put that retail price number on there. You know what I mean? So how do you do your payback? I'm curious about that.
So good question. So the both the championships are 100% payback.
Okay.
Until I had the boat, right? And now we throw the boat in there, and I haven't recalculated it. But more than likely is what I'm going to do is just take the cash from first place on both tours and put that in to take care of all the accessories, all the things I need to do to give these 2 boats away.
Okay.
So let's say that's $40,000, right? In those 2, just speaking round numbers.
Sure.
But we're giving away $130,000 in boats.
Right.
So could somebody take those and realize $40,000 out of those? Oh, way over that.
Yeah. 100% plus.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. No, that's great. And then, what are some, or do you have any rules set out that are going to be different? Obviously, the what you call it, the tour is there's no practice. You show up and fish. But those lakes they know where they're fishing though.
There's a 30-day off limits for those, and then they just show up and fish after that. Before the 30 days, they can fish with or whatever they like.
Yeah.
Before that.
Okay.
For the Pro-Am, we have a 2-day off limit.
2-day off limits. Okay.
So you can come up here and fish. You know, it might be nice if you come up here and fish, and then you take a couple days off and go to Shasta Caverns or wherever you like, you know, and go
Make it a family affair.
Yeah, go enjoy a day or two off.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's one of the things, you know, I don't know how I'm going to do with this tournament, but because of the shows, we had the ISC show, we had the Bard Hall show. I didn't get to practice, regular practice. So
Right.
I came out when the lake was 30 feet below what it is right now and played and had a great time. And I feel kind of fresh not having to be able to, you know, like I said, I don't know what the results are going to be, but I feel better than I would if I would have just practiced for the last 2, 3, or 4 days like I normally do. So that's exciting.
The funny thing how practice works, you know, so many times I've just smoked them in practice thinking, oh, this is going to be my day, and then the tournament comes around and you're...
Yeah, 100%. Well, good, man. Well, I'm like I said, I'm really excited. What else can you tell me? So
we'll talk a little bit more about the payback. So we
Okay,
talked about
good.
the championship, but the payback at the events is 85%.
okay,
So we're paying back 85%. So what I'm doing at each event, we're taking out a little bit for the championship, a little bit for the Angler of the Year on on all the tours. Once we take that out, I'm paying 85% back of that. So I'm taking that money out, but that cash is 100% going to the championship.
yeah,
And then I take 85%, I take 15% of the balance of that. So it's around probably 90% payback.
yeah, which is great. It's above any circuit that I can think of. And then as far as your limits, do you have a limit on your Pro Tour and your Pro-Am Tour as far as 150 boats and Pro?
So the Pro Tour, you know, I mean, we're still working on that, but I think I'm going to cap it at about 60, maybe 61. And the reason for 60 is that all the boat manufacturers, they all want to have 60 boats.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, they may, I'm sure Bass Cat will make an allowance, and some of the other ones will probably make an allowance for the Pro Tour,
Yeah.
because it's an upper level event.
Okay.
And then the Pro-Ams, we're going to max out at 150.
Okay, great. And what if there's only if there's 150 pros and only 50 AAAs or COs or whatever you're going to call them show up? How are you going to do that?
Well, it's not shared weight, so
Right.
so you're not penalized. You know, I mean, you don't have
Yeah.
the co's not in the boat to help you launch or, you know, to help you net your fish, but you know, the weight is fine. You don't have a co that you have to worry about.
Right. And then you're speaking of nets. Are you going to allow nets?
We allow nets.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. And you know, I don't know what the time frame is or the press release, but I did hear the word Bass Cat come out of your mouth. Is that the
Bass Cat is the
those
boat.
the boats?
It's
Okay.
the boat. We'll have
Okay.
a Bass Cat rigged with a Mercury outboard,
Great.
Eternal lithium batteries,
Okay.
and Garmin graphs,
Great.
and Garmin trolling motor.
Okay. Nice package. Very nice package. Great. Here's something that I want. One of the things I noticed, you know, with you being one of my Facebook friends and your tour also being on my Facebook, is the things that you're posting. I have never seen. I've heard of the things that you're posting, but basically, when I see, like, you know, 100,000 Facebook views and this many views and that many, can we talk about that for a second? Because
Sure.
I think that's so important.
Well, I have 17 years in the magazine business. So, and over that,
17 years.
yeah, it's been a long time. So over that time, I've built a lot of connections and built a lot of marketing avenues,
Yeah.
to say. So, and with the magazine, I didn't utilize all of those.
Okay.
You know, so a lot of them, and I used them, but not really. Now with the circuit, I'm going to utilize those 100%.
Okay.
So our Facebook, I looked yesterday, it was 104,000 followers,
Yeah.
and our reach is right about 1 million every 28 days.
That's huge. A lot of eyeballs.
Yep. Instagram, we're at about 17,000, and the reach is really good on Instagram. We're about 500,000 every 28 days on Instagram.
Okay.
So we're getting a lot of views there. YouTube, we only have 3,000 subscribers, but we're getting 20,000 downloads a month.
20,000. Okay.
20,000. So 20,000 people are coming and watching our videos every month.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have the tournament. We haven't had a tournament yet.
Tournament,
Right?
you
We
know
have
that.
not.
Yeah.
We're doing all this,
Impressive.
and we haven't had a tournament yet.
Yeah.
Once we get these tournaments up, we'll talk about the TV and net coverage also. But once we get the tournaments up, I think that's going to really explode.
Okay. Yeah.
So we have a email list. We have 2,000 anglers, regional anglers on the West Coast, tournament anglers,
Yeah.
that is in our email list. We have another 8,000 across the country. We have 200 media sources in our email list. So when we send a marketing email out, a press release, it goes out to those 200 media sources, and a lot of them will post it up on their website, and they'll help exploit this.
Yeah.
Where usually when we send a press release out, we're getting out to about 100,000 people.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Good
and
number.
something else that, so my opinion is that the tournament circuits that have been on the West Coast do not do a good job of getting out to the media.
Couldn't agree with you more.
So when you win a tournament, right, whatever tournament is, and I don't want to talk about any names,
Yeah,
but
that's okay.
whatever tournament it is,
Yeah.
if you win that tournament, a couple thousand people know. So what my goal is that when you win one of my tournaments, 100,000, 200, 500,000 people are going to know.
Wow.
Like MLF and Bassmaster, when you win one of those events, a lot of people know. I mean, when I do good in MLF, I'm getting calls and texts, and people are coming through,
Absolutely.
and we're getting a lot of people,
A lot of traction.
a lot of traction from that.
Yeah.
So really, that's what we're looking for. Each event is going to get about 5 press releases.
Wow.
So we're going to do a pre-release. We'll do a release the first day, second day, third day, and then a final day, like the top 10 baits. A conclusion of that event.
Yeah, yeah. And the neat thing is, especially you having the experience of being a part of other circuits, it's really amazing of how many anglers from the West Coast have advanced to a higher level. And
Sure.
I think that being said, it would be nice if we can showcase those anglers at the level that they're at right now. I could think of a bunch off the top of my head that could be fishing the tour just about anywhere,
Yeah, my goal is to showcase these anglers, headline these guys, and it does a couple of things. It's good for them, right? It's good for them, their ego, and personally good for their sponsors,
Yeah.
right? So, and then also good for bass fishing. You're a headline, right? And these people know, and the kids come up and they're like, Todd, and then they want to be like you, and then they want to get into fishing rather than playing video games or doing whatever they're doing. It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
So the goal is to grow bass fishing on the West Coast.
Yeah.
We get more people into bass fishing. We sell more boats. We sell more tackle. We do better. Everything rolls, and it's really a good, wholesome sport.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, one of the things I noticed you didn't mention, and I kind of overheard, are you going to have a kayak division also?
Oh, excuse me. I didn't forget about it. We just haven't talked about it. But we do have a kayak division, and Michael Bray is running our kayak division. We're also going to have a no entry fee championship where we're giving away a kayak for that.
Wow.
The brand name I don't want to say because I don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah.
But we're working with Headwaters here in Reading.
Okay.
Great kayak shop. So they're helping us with the kayak, getting that secured.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we're going to wrap it, have it all look really
wow.
cool. So the guy that wins that is going to be styling it for the next year.
And how does that work? What's the entry fee, and how do I sign up for a kayak tournament? I have no experience at all whatsoever.
You need a kayak, obviously, and they rig them out to a kayak that's $1,200 or $15,000 with all the goodies and 2 electric motors and 3 graphs and other stuff. Or you have a paddle and a fishing rod. You can go either extreme you like. Kayak entry fee is $150. I think at $155.
Reasonable.
And then we're going to use the Tourney X platform for that.
Okay. Yeah, and I think from what I know is everything with the Tourney X, you have an app. You take a picture of your fish. You got to lay it down a certain way, and then it gets calculated, and you go by inches.
Yes, go by inches because you can't weigh it on a board.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool deal too. That looks like fun. I got to experience a little bit of that Tourney X when I when I was a part of the championship.
The shootout. Shootout in Sacramento.
My first time.
That was a really fun event. Yeah. So one thing we didn't talk about is that how I've been an angler a long time, and I've been really fortunate to have some good sponsors. Been helped out, and I work hard to make these sponsors happy. So, and I can see that there's a big void of Western anglers that don't know what to do. How do I get a sponsor? What do I do when I get a sponsor? Right? How do I make them happy?
Yeah,
You know, get a sponsor.
I feel that way all
they're
the time.
giving me 10 grand a year, and then next year they're like, "See you later."
Yeah.
And you're like,
"What happened?
I thought everything was good." So what I came up with is a presentation. I think you saw it up on the website. So I have a presentation that anglers can use and take to their sponsor, and show them the value, especially the pro tour anglers. Show them the value of what we're getting, what they're going to be able to deliver to those sponsors.
Okay.
So once these guys get on board and get things rocking, then I'm going to help them with their deliverables. Deliverables are things that you provide that basically make that sponsor happy, whether it's a ad in a magazine or an article or a video post or a social post. So all that will help.
I think that top 10 will help also when you do the top 10 showing of the baits and how they caught their fish on their baits. I think that's a big deal too, you know, especially for their sponsors.
It will.
Yeah.
It will.
Yeah. Well, good. So let's talk more about media. Are you going to be doing any TV stuff or anything like that coming along?
TV.
Wow. Okay. Tell us all about that.
So we're gonna have a film crew at every Pro-Am and Pro Tour event.
Okay.
Pro Tour events are gonna have a 1-hour show, YouTube show, and also streaming on Outdoor Action TV and a couple other streaming places.
Wow.
So we'll have that on TV, have it on YouTube, so everybody can go see it. You know, since it's on YouTube, everybody can see it without having to subscribe to a special channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then so at the pro events, we're kind of scaling down the camera crew for right now.
Okay.
Because this is expensive and we're just starting out.
Yeah.
So for starting out, we're doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot.
So at the pro-am events, we're going to do a lot of short video clips, social media stuff. It'll be like, "Hey Todd, you've been up here at Shasta. What's going on? What do you think's going to happen?" And you'll give a dissertation of what you think is going to happen, and then we'll air that up on social media. Okay. And we can do 4 or 5 guys, and then we can talk about whatever bait you're going. Yep, I'm catching them on a Cinco, and or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
We can highlight baits. We can highlight your sponsors. You have a rod company, or maybe it's to the spawn, and you're talking about how great Costas can see through the water, and you can see fish better than with other glasses. There's ways that we can provide great information for our audience.
Absolutely.
And also help you with your sponsors.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's great. Well, that's awesome. I think the last thing we need to talk about fishing for just 1 second, because you just got out on Shasta, and tell us about your fishing. How was it?
I'll tell you, I was here last week. I had 2 so-so days, 1 really good day.
Okay.
Obviously, every day I'm practicing, so every day I'm running around all these different places. I went out today, bluebird skies, high bluebird skies. I ran around, and today
was pretty tough.
Okay, it was tough. Interesting.
But tomorrow's going to be different. It's going to be rain tomorrow and a lot of different things. So I'm anticipating the bite's going to be different, and I'm going to go to those places around the areas where I caught them before. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, good. I haven't been out. I mean, I went out about a week or so ago, and I caught some fish. I saw your Yamamoto there. I caught some fish on a Yamamoto Cinco, and I'm really excited because I just got the new Berkeley Credge, and so I'm really thinking that's going to work. So those are the 2 baits I'm planning on throwing. So we'll see. It's going to be on 1 bass, and hopefully you guys can check out the results. So
all right.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right.